to draw it. When you do data pipeline, right? Anytime, anyone who works on data, right? You start with collecting data, and data can come from various sources. So when it comes from various sources, it's not guaranteed the data will come in clean form. Data may not be in clean form. So now your role is to first apply various filter. Now there are two popular tools are in the market, which is Tableau and Power BI. So Power BI gives you a tool called Power BI Query, which we are going to focus tonight. Power BI Query has, I would say, hundreds of goodies to clean the data, to transform the data. Now, cleans, transform, sometimes we use enrich data, enrich. The reason you need to do that because the data provider may not listen to you, or data provider have no connections with you. You just grab the data and you know what you are trying to do, but data is not in a format where you can start doing the work. So that is the reason you have to do cleaning, transformations, enrichment. Sometimes you may have a need where you need to say, you know what, I need to find the common data, which is called intersect. I need to find the common data. Or you may have a data and you say, you know what, I need to do grouping of the data. I need to create a group, maybe Chicago, how many, and New York, like that. And like sometimes you want to do mathematics. You have two data and you do mathematics. Or sometimes you want to have like data and you can see, you know what, this data I need to slice into multiple small section. Or sometimes you might have data where data are duplicate and you say remove the duplicate. Or you may have something called like a date and you say, you know what, I want to convert date into particular form. So there are so many goodies you need to do. Trust me, infinite opportunity. 100 goodies are there, but there are different ways we will do that. So it's a whole practical class. Before I start, I just want to make sure I jump into first forum because that's our main agenda. I'll put all informations in a Google class, sorry, chat, so you have straightforward access to the content. So first, let me just go to classwork, and this is our classwork, Power BI query, and this is going to be a homework, and here our forum. So I keep updating forum. I'm hoping you all are seeing that, but I'm not modifying the last week. As I promised, I'm continuing further. So here we are week number 2. We are in week 2. Last week we did quiz and all, and then you guys did a homework. I think 6-7 students completed partial homework. So if you did partial, I would still say thank you, and you can finish, because in case if you are not able to finish and if you need help, maybe after class we can discuss and I can help you out. But try as much as you can. Remember, more you do, more you will learn. Now here is the Power BI query, which is our thing.
Tom,
Yes.
can I ask a question? So will you cover more of like coloring, like the fonts and coloring and like,
Yeah.
I know you said that one lady did hers really well. Like, are you going to show like the KPIs? I say like the last 4 or 5 tasks that was on the homework assignment. Like, will you cover that some more?
I'll show you. Yeah.
Okay.
We are not done. This is the second week, so we are not done. We have a lot to cover. Okay. But last week, whatever I started, right? If you try, it doesn't matter how fancy it is or how colorful it is. Just try to do analysis, like get the number, like KPI, get the sales. But if you have problem, we'll do like after the class also, not a problem. But today's class, I want to focus on Power BI query. We'll run out of time because it's a lot. It's a loaded content, right? Loaded content. And this is why I'm giving you, because you have to do project work. So more you know Power BI query, it easier it will become when you do project work. But I'll cover all those things. Don't worry about it. Okay. And stop me anytime if you have a question. Now, this is one of the questions will be in your interview. And mostly they will ask you to draw. Every interview, they will ask you to draw. Nowadays, we are doing virtual interview. So they will ask you to, present or share. This is the life. If anyone work in a data analysis world or, business intelligence work, this is the life, which is called data pipeline. First is the data source. Now they may ask what kind of data you worked on. So right now, today, we're going to use multiple data sources. So you will understand how easy it is to work in Power BI query. First, definitely we'll use web. Second, we'll use Excel. Third, we'll use CSV file. So we will try to use the different sources. In coming class, I'm going to show you web services, and I'm also going to do database also. So there are JSON, PDF, also we can try it out. Now get the data. But when you get the data, you need a connection source, which is by default available in Power BI Desktop and Power BI Query. We will be using it. So you will learn by doing it. Our focus is transform. And Power BI Query is not a separate tool. It is a part of Power BI Desktop. However, the view will be different. So Power BI Desktop through, you can go to Power BI Query. Power BI Query itself is not a separate tool. It is open from Power BI Desktop. So you do need a Power BI Desktop install, and through that we'll jump into Power BI Query. And we can always, tonight, we are going to do back and forth. So we'll do Power BI Query to Power BI Desktop and back and forth. And you will see how it works. And I'm going to try to do this, answer some of the questions also. But Power BI Query as such, it is not a tool. It's called component, or you can say module. It is a part of Power BI Desktop. Once you complete that, Power BI Query will create a pivot. The Power BI pivot, which is nothing but it's a in memory, it create a model. And that model is optimized for better performance. And that is what you do analysis. And this analysis, when you do, you are using again Power BI Desktop. So Power BI Desktop is a authoring tool or reporting tool. Power BI Desktop is a reporting tool, and Power BI Query is a ETL tool. Extract, transform, and load. Extract means you go to the data source and get the data. So you go to data source and get the data, which is the extract. T stands for transform. My focus today is more transform. And the load means if you want to load this thing to Power BI Desktop, you can do that also. So there will be a question in the quiz tonight. What is the purpose when you bring the data? So like example, you bring data from source. What is the main purpose? Why you bring data from the source? What's the main purpose? Anybody can answer?
To extract exactly what you need. Look at this data, analyze what
Very
you
good.
need, and extract just something specific what will help you with your analysis and
Perfect.
presentation, whatever.
Perfect. Yeah, so that is exactly correct answer. However, in the question, they have not mentioned analysis. So you need to say that main purpose for data to bring to Power BI is to create a data model. Remember this thing. From data model, you have to apply a techniques to analyze. Okay, so main reason to bring data to create a model. And after creating model, you apply some techniques, visualization techniques, and create analysis. So the main reason you're bringing data to create a model. Now, what is model means? So model means if I have data, let's example, just for learning purpose, let's say I have a store data, and then I have order data, and then I have customer data. If I don't bring together, then I cannot analyze proper. So this model which I create now, I can say this store, how many orders I have, orders, how many customer placed the order, in store, how many customers I have, customers, how many product he bought. So all kind of analysis I can only do when I create a model. So the main reason to bring data from various sources is to create a data model. But data model, if you create with the garbage in and garbage out, means if you don't clean up the data, then data model will not work well. So that's why Power BI query is a cleaning kind of, it's kind of scrubbing kind of activity where you are doing that. But ultimately goal is to get data into data model, and after model you do visualization. Make sense? Okay. So first thing, I want you all to download this file. So I'm going to give you a link in a chat and which can get started. So first I'll click on the link. Why don't you all let me copy? I'm sure you have access to Google Class, but in case if you do not, I'll give you in a chat so you can put that in a browser. So just copy this link in the browser and you can download that file. There are a bunch of files, okay? It's not one file. This is the same file I might have given last week also. So just paste that URL, copy that URL, and then that URL paste in the browser. So this URL you paste in a browser, so you will see bunch of data. So if you press enter, you will see bunch of data. Now for tonight class, we will use multiple files, but we'll start with a query. So click on this query, click on the query. And when you click on query, there is one file. I have purposefully created that. This is something I created. So just download this file and give me thumbs up if you're able to download it. Good, perfect, good, very nice. Now, if you are able to do, please start Power BI desktop. Power BI desktop. Power BI desktop. It is simple and easy and powerful class. It's all hands-on. You will learn instantly because this is the Power BI, right? Instantly. But to be honest with you, no matter which kind of analysis you do, you will be using Power BI query or some kind of software. So you will come to this screen. I'm hoping everyone has downloaded the file because that file is our main file, which we'll be using part of our analysis. Now click on get data. Make sure you follow the flow. Sometimes, you after 8-10 minutes, you say, what did you do? It would be very difficult for me to go back, especially it break my chain of thought because I have like sequential things to do. And sometimes, I forgot. So it's very important that you follow the flow, download the file. And now you're going to click on get data. When you click on get data, you can go to that Excel file, which you just downloaded. Most likely it will be in your download folder. So you can click on your Excel workbook, and then go and open that file which you just downloaded. It should be in your download folder. So just double click on it and it will open it for you. So if I click on Excel workbook and I say connect, right? Connect. So I will be able to open that Excel thing. So here I'm going and you can see I'm able to open this file. So this file I downloaded, so I can open it. And if you double click on it, that file will be opening in a navigator. I'm hoping all of you are able to see up to this level. Okay, good. Thank you, Murthy. Again, the basic understanding, there is nothing we have done. This is last week kind of thing. We downloaded file, we are opening the file. Now, this file has a purposefully created a lot of inconsistency. We call data inconsistency or data error, or you can say incomplete data. There is a purposefully. So we're going to clean this data. There are 3 exercises we are planning to do. So that way you understand how easy it is. Once you get the idea, you can just apply to any, not only this tool, any tool in the world, because it's just a concept. So let's click on this, check mark the EMP, and you can see visual representation of data. You kind of see preview. This is the navigator. You are seeing the preview and you can see that there are many nulls you have, right? You can see that if you move like that, sometimes you have data which has null, sometimes you have this information, right? So data has some issues, which you will see that some data are identical, some data are like not identical, like some are repeated data, some are like this. So some duplication are there. So we'll try to apply. So when you are reviewing this data, now we will click on the transform data. This is where Power BI query starts. So whenever you see word transform, when you click on it, you can go to Power BI query. You can also back and forth. You can go to Power BI desktop or Power BI query at any time. It's not like, oh my God, I made a mistake. You can always switch back and forth. So let's click on Power BI transform data. And when you do so, you will have a new view. You will see new view. So there are 2 views now. you can see on your screen, there are two views you will see. One is the Power BI desktop, you can see right away. One is the Power BI desktop, that's the master view, and there is a Power BI query. Give me thumbs up if you're able to see this both. Good, very nice. Thank you for confirming, because I don't want you to left behind at the same times. I just want you to follow the flow. I'll not go too fast, but at the same time, we want to go reasonably good so we can complete certain steps. Now, when you skip homework next time, it will be again slow. So make sure you do homework, because this will help you a lot. Otherwise, we'll go backward, we'll not go forward. So at this moment, when you are here, there are two things I want you to clearly see here. First is the Power BI desktop, which is the tool number 1. And there is a Power BI query, which is the tool number 2. So sometimes they ask in an exam question, multiple choice, which tool is used for visualization? Power BI query or Power BI desktop? What you guys will say?
Power BI desktop.
Okay. If they ask which tool you Power BI desktop is for visualization, for reporting, and for modeling. Visualization, reporting, and modeling. Power BI query only used for ETL. ETL stands for extract, transform, load. Can Power BI query does visualization? No. Can Power BI query create a model? No. Can Power BI does transformation? Yes. Can Power BI add column? Yes. Can Power BI remove column? Yes. Can Power BI remove duplicate? Yes. Can Power BI create custom column? Yes. Can Power BI add new table? Yes. Power BI can, so lots of yes we're gonna cover. Now, in this, the first question, when you open Power BI query, when you open Power BI query, what are the menus you see here? First is the home, second is a transform, and third is the add column. Please remember, this will be a question in your exam. Do you think it's hard? Home, transform, add column. Because these three things will help you to clean up the data or enrich the data. So first is three menu, home, transform, and add column. Now, when you are doing that, you can see your table or Excel, whatever you have open, it shows as a query. So in normal world, we call table. In Power BI, we call query. Everything is a query. So like example, if I open CSV file, it will create one query. If I have database file, it will have its own query. If I bring to website, if I go to website and bring the data, that will be another query. So I will have a bunch of data here as I work forward. Make sense? And they all are labeled as a query. We call table, but here we call query. Are we clear? So far, so good? Good. Now they will ask one more question. If you are going through data, please understand database, then Power BI query, then desktop, and then report, right? Dashboard report, right? KPIs and all, right? It's very easy KPIs, because I think most of you did that. So I'm assuming you all are clear. Now they may ask question, where would you clean up the data? Where would be the right thing to do for clean up the data? What would be the best place to clean up the data?
Query.
During transfer.
So correct answer is here. This is the correct answer. At source. Source level cleaning the data is the best thing to do. Why? Because you are using this engine, database engine, or that machine. That machine might have a better, CPU, memory, and all. So it's a good idea where data is residing. But let's say some reason you missed the opportunity number 1. Then second best place is the Power BI query. Because until you bring data to dashboard, you have opportunity to clean. So whatever you clean, that's example, I have 100 rows. Out of 100 rows, if I bring it only 50 rows to desktop, then the less row or less column you have is better, because this cleaning part, whatever you clean, those data will not come to desktop. So only the final finished good will go to desktop. So this is the second opportunity for you to clean the data or filter the data. Let's say you forgot about that. Then third capability at desktop level, where you can do, when you table view or data view, you can filter the data. And if you don't do it, the last thing is the report. If you try to do filter data here, you are unnecessarily wasting memory and CPU. So most important part, you clean up the data itself at the source is. So example, if you are using Oracle, write a Oracle where clause there. Or if you're using like a CSV file, maybe use their machine and clean up the data. So you get limited rows and limited column. Or if you are using cloud, make sure you clean at cloud level before you bring data to Power BI, because Power BI cannot process large volume of data. The limitation is right now, default limitation is 1 GB. So if your data is more than 1 GB, it may not fit in memory, it will crash. Yes, Murthy, question?
Actually, you answered my question.
Yeah, so make sure we do all, because source can be many, right? Power BI is one, and Power BI is depend on memory, and also try to do that. This question will be there in interview, okay? This question will be in interview because majority time people make mistake, and this, I think someone is to mute, please. If you,
So,
sorry, go ahead.
I want to ask a question to what you had
Sure.
said. So, like, really, what is because I was kind of figuring like BI, Power BI is close to Excel and dealing with large amounts of data, but you're saying that it's not good to use for large amounts of data. So, really, what is it good for if it's only can hold 1 GB?
It is good for analysis. It is good for cleaning. If you let me
But it
ask,
seems like it's the same as like doing a pivot chart and tables and stuff, and you know what I mean, doing it in Excel. So it's like, and then it's working hand in hand with Excel. So like, what is its main focus, the power behind it? Like, what is it doing?
dashboard. Have you done Excel dashboard versus have you seen Power BI dashboard?
I've done dashboards and other softwares, like for instance, MicroStrategy, but not
Mhm.
on this level.
Yeah, so Power BI is 10 times better than MicroStrategy. I use MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is 10 years old product. You can't even compare. It's like a cycle, and Power BI is a Mercedes. And if you compare Excel versus Power BI, just do today's Power BI query, this one query itself. You will see this kind of things doing in Excel. It's going to take you hours. You can do in Excel. Don't take me wrong. You can do in Excel, but it will take hours. Here, seconds. So can I do in Power BI
Okay.
query? Yeah, you can do in Excel, but here you can do. So first you get a speed. Second, the visualization which Excel gives you is a cycle. Power BI is a Mercedes. In order for you to see the difference, you need to create the dashboard. Then you will see the difference. So when we go advanced level, which we are going to do in next 2 weeks, right? Advanced level of visualizations. MicroStrategy doesn't have those visualization at all. So advanced level of visualization, which Power BI gives you, makes reach. The true capability of Power BI is data analysis. Just drag and drop and you create a nice dashboard in less than 1 hour. So that is most important capability. In Excel, you just do pivot table, right? There is nothing special. And pivot table is a very primitive. You can hardly do filter. You can hardly do certain thing. You can't do AI/ML. You can't write a Python program in that. You can't create like a special type of clustering, classification, analytics, and all. There is nothing you can do in Excel. So Excel is designed for beginner level. Power BI designed for someone who is doing advanced level of analysis. Make sense? So as you go further, you will see the significant difference. You won't even use Excel. Trust me, people don't use Excel when they come to Power BI, because once you see Power BI, why would I use Excel when I have Mercedes versus bicycle, right? So that's the big difference. You will see right away. It is a family of Excel, so there is a familiarity of that. So whatever you can do in Excel, you can do here. But they have designed such a beautiful goodies here. Good. Any other questions? Good. Okay, so now let's begin. So first thing, please understand how you navigate. I'm focusing on Power BI query. In Power BI query, the first is your table. The table is known as a query. If you feel like this name is not correct, you just double click on it and change the name. If you're not talking, please mute yourself. So if you don't like the name, you can just double click and change the name. You can double click on change the name. So if you don't like, you can just double click and change the name. Please understand. When you do that, here, Power BI query maintain the step. This is not possible in Excel. This is one of the things it is not possible in Excel. So this is called time travel. It is complex topic. Let's understand. Time travel. This is one of the things only two software right now provides. Time travel. You may like it. Even Tableau, I think, please mute it if you're not having question. Unnecessary voice will be recorded. So time travel, I need to mute. I think you guys are, if you're not talking, it's a good idea to mute. Thank you. Yeah. So it's always good idea to mute yourself, because otherwise, it will record your background noise, and who knows, you will be talking personal thing and it will be captured. So let me explain time travel. Please understand, time travel is very popular topic. Only two softwares people ask this thing. One is a Snowflake. So in case you use Snowflake, this is the cloud, in case you might have heard. And the second is the Power BI. So Power BI, PBI, we call Power BI. What is time travel? So think about, right now I'm here. Tomorrow, I will be here. Day after, I'll be here. And day after, I'm here. So this is the kind of forward. I'm able to do forward. But in our life, we don't have a reverse button. We don't have a reverse button. If we have a reverse button, then it's called time travel. Time travel means I can go in the future and I can come back. Only two things: Snowflake cloud, in case if you know data cloud, Snowflake is the another way people do data analysis. So Snowflake has this concept. So Microsoft slowly introduced this concept in Power BI. Tableau doesn't have this concept. What is this concept? So let's see here. Make sure you see that. We will be doing hundreds of times this repetition. But as soon as we come in, what Microsoft does is Microsoft maintain the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Anything you do here, Microsoft will maintain this thing and then give you all actions you are doing. And you are welcome to go back. If you don't like, you can delete that step. So example, if you click on source, just click on source. So what happened? You just click on its source. Just click on it. So when you click on it, it tells you you got the data from this file. Then you click on this, you can say you got this data from Navigator. Then you double click on this. Sorry, I need to cancel. Double click on this, then you can say you got the heading. Then you cancel here and double click on that. So you can see you change data type. So these are the steps happen before you come to Power BI. Who does this thing? Power BI intelligently does that. So first we saw the source. Second, we saw Navigator. Third, Power BI automatically say that this is the heading. And Power BI also give you data types. It detects the data types. So based on this data, it says that this is ABC, means spelling. This is number, then it's a 1.2, which is a number. Spelling. This is the date. So this is automatically detected by Power BI. So you can go forward and you can go backward. And if I do anything here, it will be track. And I will always have an opportunity to go back or go forward. So example, let's say double click here in EMP and just change to employee. Just change to employee. Double click and just change to employee and press enter. So now I change my name here. Okay, employee. I change my name to employee. So now my query will be named as a employee. Okay. Now please understand, we are going to do some kind of activity. As we do activity, you will see what will happen here. So like example, I have here null, salary null, and I don't think null should be there. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to filter the null. So check it out. Click here, make sure you see on the screen. click here and you filter the null by unchecking this. So what happened? As soon as you click here and you uncheck the null, uncheck the null, and if you say okay, now you can see it maintain my step filter row. So if I click further about, it will see null, and if I go here, it's non-null. So I can check each and every step. Questions so far? So far so good, right? Now let's say I want to filter here. So you can see I can department. I don't want department to be null. So I click here and I just say check, uncheck the null, Okay. So it maintains the steps that I'm filtering that. Okay. So anytime any steps I do, I can also undo. Let's say I don't like that. Oh my God, I made a mistake. You just click on the X. If you click on X, it will undo it. Check it out. If I click on X, not a problem. See, null came back. And if I click again, it will add the steps. So you can see I'm filtering null. I'm clicking null. So it's always good idea to first remove the null because you don't need null. So you just carefully check your data and remove the null. And you will see the filter rows are applied. And in filter, what happened? You can see that yourself. You click here and you click here and it will give you idea that there was a null here. And now there is a no null. And whatever it does, please understand, whatever it does, it document here a special code. Whatever it does, it document the code here that this is something happened. This code is questioned in the exam called M code. They have came up with the concept called M code, nothing but Microsoft code. Yes, Sargon, question?
When you change the employee table name from EMP to employee, that step was not registered in the applied steps.
Right.
Why is that?
Yeah, because it is not a transformation here, because we are not transforming columns, data, and row. It is just changing the table, which is beyond this step. These are our data, right? We didn't apply on data. We changed the table name. So that's what it is not captured. But
okay,
data will be captured.
Okay.
Good. Okay. First of all, so far so good. Now follow the flow. Please understand. I have a date here. Please understand. I have a date, and I'm thinking like, no, this date. I want to add a day here. Day. I want to add a day. Which day this date is exist? Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This kind of thing, I don't think you can get in Excel just like that. So what we need to do, we want to write a special additional column. Very good. So go to add column. Make sure you follow add column. Click on add column. And here, there's this beautiful concept called, see here, your concept. So first, make sure you understand. I selected the column. I select a column. Every step, I'll take a little pause. Okay, I'll take a little pause. So making sure you're with me. But if you're too slow or your computer is not helping, maybe you can watch recording later on. But at least understand the concept. Concept understanding has no dependency on a computer. If you want to do lab, you have to do computer and do that. But if you're following, your computer is slow, you're not able to catch up, then you may want to do a little bit later. But I'll take pause for every step. So right now, select the column. Now I'm going here and there is in the add column, I selected add column, and in add column, I have a concept called column from example. So I'm clicking here and I'll say from selection. From selection. Why selection? Because I selected the date column. So I click here and I say from selection. So you will see something like that. Give me thumbs up if you are with me so far. Okay. Now, please understand some trickiness, but it's so good. Check it. You may like it. See here. I have selected the data. Now in the column, you double click here. Here, you double click here. And now you have these many options available. Pick whichever you like. So example, from this date, you want to present how you want to present this date. So we can pick something like example, if I want to select Friday, I can do that. Or there are many options available. So double click and play around and see which one you like. Whichever you like. Sometimes people like this type of format, sometimes like year, week, month, May, day, whatever you like. So like example, I like I like just a Friday, double click on Friday. So if I double click and if I do OK, every date will have respective day. So each day will have respective day. Check it out. Okay. And boom, you got it. Give me thumbs up if you're able to do so. Very good. Now, let's say here I have this many column, but let's say I want to divide this column as a two, first name and last name, first name and last name, first name and last name. So what is first name and last name? Destiny, what happened? Destiny, you're not able to do? We are not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was able to bring in column 1,
Mhm.
and then I didn't have that like space that you had between start date and column 1, and then after that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I
Please see
didn't
here.
get that.
I'll show you one more time. Let me delete this thing. People on phone, when I delete, you can see also it will write here. Every step it will write. You don't have to delete. I'm just trying to show, Destiny here. So I'm going to right click and remove this column. So I right click and remove. So it will maintain that thing. So Destiny, see here, I selected the column. Make sure you see on the screen, follow the flow. So I selected the column. Column is selected. Then I did add column. And then in this one, there's a tiny drop down box. I say selected column, selected column, selected column, like that, from selection, from selection, from selection. Once you get here, column 1, you double click here, you double click here, you double click here. And when you double click here, you get all options. And then you pick whichever option you like. Again, you double click on it. So when you double click on that, it will come. So far you are with me? Remember, double click.
I got it, thanks.
And once you do that, just click on OK. So when you click on OK, entire column will be filled with the value. Pretty good? Okay. Okay, now let's say I realize, oh my God, I don't have an index here. I don't have index. Remember, every table should have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You may say, what is this one? This is the row. This is not the index. I need a column with the index. Okay, no problem. Let's start here. So please understand. Here, please see here, everyone, you are already in add column. And there is a concept called add column. Click on the tiny arrow, add column, tiny arrow. And you can say, I want to add a column which will start 1. It will create a sequential number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So click on from 1, from 1. So if I do from 1, it will create a column, nice, beautiful column. An index column is added. Give me thumbs up if you're able to do it. Right? Pretty easy, right? Just as I said before, you need to know how to use mouse. That's all. That's called BI, business intelligence. There is nothing to do coding, or it doesn't require extraordinary skill. This is the reason any business person, any person, non-technical person can do that. That is the reason Power BI is highly respected now, because it's simple, right? Now you realize that I like that, but I don't like the column title. I don't like column title. So it's supposed to be, this is employee, so employee ID. So let's double click here and change to employee ID. So double click and just type employee, E capital, employee space ID and enter. So you change the column name. Pretty good. You can change column name at any time. You double click employee ID and boom, your column name is changed. If you want to know like what was the previous column, you just click here and you will see the previous column. Look at that. And if you click here, you can see the new column. So you can do time travel. This is the beautiful thing. I'll tell you as later, because right now we are beginner. I'll tell you the secret why it is important. This is one of the snowflakes introduced, and Microsoft also introduced this thing. This is beautiful. You may love it. Later on, I'll tell you why. So make sure someone remind me that. Okay. So now I realized that index is added, but I supposed to have index supposed to be the first column. So let's drag it and drop here. So in the middle, hold this with your mouse and drag and drop this side. Check it out. So drag and drop. Boom. It is now my first column. So far, so good. Everyone is doing good. Awesome. Now I realize that I have this is like first name, last name. I want to split this column. I want to split the column. Now, as I said before, there are hidden features are there. There are hundreds of hidden features. I may be able to show you 100, but there are 500 plus features. Now, sometimes you may not need that. Sometimes you may need, and as need arise, you will start discovering this thing, right? It's just like a calculator. Sometimes you buy a calculator. There are a lot of capability calculator offer, but we sometimes use addition, subtraction, and division. We don't use hundreds of capability calculator offer. Same thing. So right now, please understand, I have need to divide this column into two columns. But how do I divide? So I realize there is a space between two words, right? Space between two words. That's called my delimiter. So using delimiter or separator, I can divide into two columns. So how do I do that? So I click on the column, then I right click on it. I right click and I get so many options. So if you see here, there is one of the option called split column. So let me repeat, right click on a column, go to split column, and then you can see there are many options available, but I want to split by delimiter. Delimiter, Power BI is so smart, it will understand, oh, you need a space delimiter, check it out. So you right click, split column, delimiter. So when you do that, so what will happen? It will give you options that you want to delimit it based on space. It knows automatically, it is pretty smart. It knows that your space. Now, it says split each occurrence means like you want to do first option. So leftmost, rightmost, you can specify whatever you want. So you can say leftmost, rightmost, or each occurrence up to you. Then when you delimit, do you want to write that item into double quotation like that? Like that, when you delimit, do you want this one in double quotation? No, I don't want. So here you select none. You should select none. So you can say none. And if you say okay, now your two column, check it out. It adds two columns. And now you can see here your two columns added. One is name one, name two. Now double click here and say first name, or just write first and double click here and just say write last. So double click on first, enter, double click on that, last, and press enter. So far, so good. Any question? Everyone is doing good so far? Now you say, I like this. I want to do similar thing through date. So let's see if you guys can help me here. I want to separate it out year. Is there a way I can use split and separate it out? What do you guys think? Can I separate it out year based on slash? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's click in.
Should, yeah.
Yeah, click here and say split. Right click and right click. So here, see here, when I do here, I'm not able to see string here because it think it's a date, right? So split, when I was right clicking here, I was able to see split here. See, if I right click here, any column wherever I can see split column, right? So if I come here, I don't see split here. Why? Because it doesn't think as a string. So you go to transform, right? So you can see it's a date. So I can see year and I can say transform year. So you can see here start date. I can say transform year. I can do year. Check it out. So start date, transform year. And if I do year, what happened? It transformed that column to year. What happened with the original value? What happened? Did it create a new column or did it replace?
It got replaced.
Replace. This will be a question in your exam. So when you transform column, it replaces the original value. Make sense? So I don't want that. So I don't want that. That's wrong. So I'm going to click on X. I'll click on X. So I click on X. So now I got my date back, and I still want to add year. So I have many ways I can do add. So I'll go back to again.
They have to duplicate and then duplicate.
Yeah, many ways. There are many ways. We go with the same approach we did. So I select the, please pay attention. I select the column. I select the column. I'll go to our first selection. Remember we say column from selection. So remember I select the start date from the drop down box from selection. And then here I double click here and I select only year. So we have options here. If you select 2009, only year, double click on year, double click on year. And then just say, okay, now year is selected. Beautiful. Any questions so far? So you just use some of the capability, like, sometimes things will work straightforward. Sometimes thing doesn't work straightforward, but there are hundreds of ways you may be able to get the result like that.
Can you show that again? Because I'm not sure which year you chose.
Yeah, so first I'll draw it now because you should be able to do that. Are you selecting the date? Say yes.
Yeah.
Then you select this one. And then the options are there from selection. Select that. Then you get here, double click on it. And then scroll down, you will see year. And just say okay. And then you will get it.
It's year from start date, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it? Okay, let me show you. It seems like it took longer than I expected. I'll do it quickly. See here, Thomas. I click here.
Oh, no, I got it. I got it now.
Yeah. So I click here. I click here. From selection. Then you double click here. Always remember, double click. Scroll down. Pick the year. Double click. Okay. And we got that year. Now, let's say I want to remove some row. I want to remove. So if I want to do, I need to go to home menu. So go to home menu. And let's say I realize that some rows which I don't want. Just an example, okay? I don't want some row. So you have options here. Check it out. Remove rows. And there are many options available. So you can say, please understand, remove top rows. So if I keep my cursor here, and if I say I want to remove top 5 row, I can remove, or I can say bottom 5 rows. So if I have 5 rows like this, and I can say bottom, so it will remove from bottom, or you can say remove duplicate. So let's click on remove duplicate. Just here, remove duplicate. So it will remove duplicate if there is a remove duplicate. Oh, sorry, Control Z, my mistake. Sorry for that, because it selected the year. It selected the year, so everything was duplicate, right? So here, my mistake. So if you make mistake, right? If you make mistake, you can just uncheck that item. So let's say I want to come here, and I realize that this person should be only once. This is supposed to be 1. So I select the column. So first I select the column, and I go to remove, and I can say remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. So what will happen? It check that and I say, okay, these 2 guys are same. It will remove, right? So you can say remove duplicate rows. So now check it out. In case if you want to focus here, you can see a 10 column, 973 rows I have, right? Now what happened? So I'll say remove duplicate. And you can see now suddenly I have 855 rows because some rows are duplicate being removed. Makes sense or not?
Question.
Mhm.
I'm not finding remove.
You have to go to home menu.
Okay.
Yeah, home menu, right?
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. Now, if I see in
So when
gender,
you,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, question. So when you did that, did it reorder the index number, or that one's still?
I think it's keep, I believe. So because here that is a skip. You see, number 7 is gone.
Okay, yeah, see it now. Okay.
Now, see, if you see here gender, there is a null. So I'm trying to remove the null here. Just uncheck that, right? Null should not be there. Otherwise, null is not right because you will not be able to do proper things. So I'm just checking properly. So far I remove the null. Every step I realize I'm doing, but I realize that I remove null, but it says filter row 1. I don't like that step. So what I can do is I can double click and I can write in English what I did. So I double click here and say, double click on that. Second, right click and rename. My mistake. Right click and rename, and I can say, you know what? I remove null from gender column. So this way you can also write step. So tomorrow you can come in, you will know. Make sense or no? Sometimes this tool does that, but doesn't do good job. Then in that case, you can right click, you can rename that. So that way you get an idea, what did you do here, right? Because these are the steps. Here you can see in English, this is the code. When you do the action, it creates a code. This code is a M code. And just like Destiny say, what I can do in Excel, you have to write VBA macro. It is not easy to write VBA macro. That's why people love Power BI. You don't need to know any coding. It does macro write for you. Every step it writes for you. Okay. Now, let's say I want to give everyone a bonus. I have a salary column. But I want to give a bonus everyone. Let's say I want to give a 10% bonus to everyone. So based on salary, I want to create a bonus. How do I do that? So I click on salary. But because I want to add a new column, I'll click on salary and I'll go to add column. Murthy, I'll go to add column, right? So you need to think about when to switch around and all. So I'm going to add column. So I click on salary. I went to add column, and in add column, it gives me options, multiple options. So here I'm going to create a custom column, or I can create an invoke custom function. So I can do whatever I want. So I have a choice. So let's see what is this 2 option. We did this option. So we'll see here what happened. Make sure you understand. I selected salary column. So salary column is selected. Remember that I have selected. It's a numeric. Now I'm going to add column and I have a couple of options. So I want to see what is the custom column. So if I click on custom column, it gives me this thing, which I think it will work for me. I say, okay. So I want to write my new column, which I'm going to create. I'll say bonus. So I click on bonus. And here I want to create a formula. So you click on salary and click on insert. See, I'm drawing, guys. If you follow the drawing, it's easy. It cannot get easier than that, right? So click on salary and just click on insert. So check it out. So I can click on salary, click on insert. So that's my column. So that column will get me all those value. And I want to give 10%. So I'll say multiply 0.10, which is 10%. Let's do that. So click star. If I make a mistake, you will see red color and OK will be disabled. Star 0.10. And if I do right, it will give me clue, no error, and OK button will be enabled. If I do OK, please see here 10%. I hope everyone understand why am I doing 0.10, which is 10%. This is the column I use as a baseline. Whenever I use a rectangle, I use the baseline. That's a column, original column, multiply by 10%. Now I do OK, and it will add a column here, bonus. Give me thumbs up if you are able to do so. each steps are different. So in case if you miss first step, you shouldn't be crying, oh my God, I'm behind. No, just keep that, continue. Yes, Irina. Irina, question?
No, it's I clicked by mistake instead.
No problem.
Some
No
other.
problem.
So
Now, no worries. Now, please understand. I want to drag the bonus close to the salary. So let's do that. So drag this and put it here next to the bonus. Please see here. I'm dragging and dropping will be part of your nature because you will be doing that often. Now I want to have a total salary. I want to calculate total salary because salary plus bonus will be total. Very simple. Because first, please understand there is small problem. There is a small problem. You can see here 1, 2, 3 here and here bonus. But some reason here it's ABC 1, 2, 3. And here it's a 1, 2, 1 that's called decimal value. But here ABC 1, 2 means it's maybe somewhere it understand this is a spelling. That won't happen in a math because I want to do math. So good news, you can convert, you can convert this column if possible. So let's go to home. Here you can do also. So here you can see here, there is an option here, format, right? So check it out. You click on the column because why it is showing ABC12. It's supposed to show this way. So we can create this thing as a decimal. So we can click on the column. Either you can, click on the dot like this one, right? And sorry, my mistake, right click, my mistake, right click here, and you can convert if you want. Or the best way to do, you click here and you can go to format. And what are the options available? So here it's still, see, the reason it is showing me this uppercase lower, it's somehow understanding that this is looks like a textual. So let's go back to home, and in home you can see here options available. So you can see home, your data type, it select data type, and in data type it select any, and that's why the problem is it should not be any, it should be decimal or fixed decimal. So let's see what happened. So if I click here any, and if I say fixed decimal, it gives me $sign. If I select here and I said decimal, it gives me replace current value, it gives me 1.2, and I need that. So you can change it, and now this is a numeric value, this is numeric value, so I can do operation plus operation. So anytime if you want to convert that, you can change the data type, or you can double click here itself, and you can change data types. Like you double click and just change the decimal like that instantly. You just click here and decimal like that. Like here, you can see here, you have this number, which is now decimal, this number, which is decimal. You can do all, like example, if you want to say, you know what, I want to remove certain thing, you can do rounding also. So like example, if you want to say whole number, I don't want to have decimal, you can say whole number, just an example. So you can see whole number, replace current value, you will lose the decimal value. You can lose the decimal value, but I want decimal value. So I can go back here and I can cancel this step. So I can cancel again. No need to worry about it. You always have a control. Any questions so far? Changing column data type, right? Now I want to do total. So I have both column available. So hold salary and hold shift button and select bonus. So first,
So Tom, your data
yes,
type went back to ABC 1, 2, 3 on
yeah.
bonus.
I'll change my mistake. Sorry for that. Thank you for catching up. Decimal number. So yeah. So now select this one, this column, and hold shift button and select this one. So you can select both of them. So please understand, select this one and select this one. Select both of them. Now I want to do addition. I have many ways to do addition. I can do custom column with a formula, or I can do simple math. So check it out. In that case, I'm going to click on add column, and you can see it gives me options here to do plus minus like that. So if I click here, and if I say I want to add this to column, or I can multiply this column, I can subtract this column like that. So if I do add, it will automatically add, and it will do that. That's simplest form. or I can go to custom column. And if I click on custom column, I get a dialog box, right? And I pick like a salary, I insert, and I can do plus and click on bonus, and I can do either way. Both one is will work, but I want to do like a simple way, which is the standard one. So I'm going to cancel right now. I'm going to say cancel. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yes. I'm going to use select that, and I click on standard, and I say add, and instantly it will do for me, and total is added. And I double click here and I write a total. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? So far, are we doing good? Awesome. Now, if I go further, I want to know like how my data quality look like, right? I want to see high level how my data quality look like. So you can go to view menu. You can go to view menu. You can go to view menu, and you can see here there's a check mark called column quality. So this will be a question in your exam. Column quality. So if you do view column quality, just check that, and it will show you each column. Is there any error? So this one does not have any error. Perfect, 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 perfect. So looks like we have good data right now. There is no error at this moment. If there is an error, if there is record is empty or there is an error, then I should filter those things. It looks like we have good 100% quality data. So now I'm gonna uncheck that. So far so good. Now I'll say show white space. White space means sometimes what some people write, like example Tom, right? But Tom, when they write, there is a space before or sometimes space after. White space means sometimes you have too much space, like example one spelling and there is a lot of space, tab. So we want to see like is there a white space are there? So white space. So there is a spaces we are adding right now. Let's remove that. So I can see column distribution. So if I click on column distribution, so now it will show me the data, how distributed. So this is kind of statistical form. Just many of you may not have statistical background, but high level, just remember few distribution. It will help you. So the most popular distribution is called bell curve. So it's like this way. This is the bell curve distribution, which is normal distribution. Normally this one. But if you see like this one, rectangle type of thing, it's called uniform distribution. Uniform distribution means value between this column are equally divided. But if you see like distribution like this, right, it's called shift, right shift, like example like this. It means it's a shift, means left shift. Or if you see the distribution like this, it means be left shift, means data is more like this. What is right shift and left shift? In order to understand right shift and left shift data, you have to understand normal distribution. Normal distribution means 50-50, 50 here and 50 here. So if your data is a lot more this side, then you will have left shift. If your data is more on this side, then you have right shift. So that's why it's very important you visualize. So now, what does it mean to me? So if I survey all my employees and they all are, I ask them, hey, how much your salary is? They are saying 20 million, 19 million, 30 million, 50 million. So they most likely be right shift. Maybe they are Bill Gates, maybe they are Elon Musk, maybe Jeff Bezos, right? But then if I ask another survey, and what's your salary? 20,000, 21,000, 19,000, 30,000. So they are kind of maybe Walmart employee, maybe they're left shift. So depends on your data distribution, you will know what type of survey perform. I would say it's bad because it's kind of not equally representing. Ideally, you should have normal distribution or uniform distribution, but this type of data is creating trouble. In this one, you have only taken 2 years. So you can't do that technically. You need to have 10 years, right? If you do 10 years, then you will have uniform distribution. Because if you do two data, 2019 and 2000, it's a binary 50-50. You can't learn. So this will give you idea, am I doing correct analysis? Now, Destiny, ask yourself question, can you do this in Excel? Yes or no?
No, and I'm noticing all the good features with this. This makes it so much better, especially when you show the null that you can just go in and just pull the null out without having to put in a code. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's wonderful.
We have just started. You will see that as we go further. I give you guarantee. I use various tools. Okay. Before Power BI query, I used to write Python program to clean my data. Now it saves my weeks of effort because I have to write a lot of filters. Now Power BI query through, I can do all my work in less than 1 hour. That used to take weeks of effort, and most of the time I miss that because this tool is so good and it's free, FRE free. So if you do project and if you don't do Power BI query, you're really not doing right. Because think about it, if somebody asks, analyze data, I want analyze. It's not enough data. So first, I will not make any decision based on these two. I can analyze everything. I can exclude. So if I want to exclude, I can right click here, right? And I can remove it. I can just remove this column, right? So I can do that. Now, one thing your customer says, please understand, I'm going to say something, okay? You may be surprised what I'm going to do. Ready? Okay. You have to understand what I'm going to do. Otherwise, you will not understand. This is like a beautiful thing which Power BI query gives, which it took me when I was doing, I have to write a lot of program to do so. So now I have 2019 and many times it repeated. And I have 2020 many times repeated. Now, right now I have data like that and I have bonus to, sorry, not bonus, total salary. Now, this is also repeated. So if you see data is like that. So if you carefully see that data, this is year and this is the total, where is total salary? Yeah, this is total salary, my mistake here. So now please understand what I'm trying to explain. If I want to know 2019, how much salary people are making. So like right now, this column here, what you see here, these are row value. These are row value. But I want to convert, please understand. I want to convert this 2019 as a column and 2020 as a column and want to know how much we pay in 2019 and 2020, that same employee. Let's understand. So right now, this is like going like that in 2019, 2019, 2000. So I want to convert this value as a column, value to the column, not understanding. You can do anything. So like example here, right now, this is a department, right? This is the value like this. But if you realize that, I don't think I'm getting this thing better. I want to have engineering as a one column, support as a one column, human resources as a one column. So I can literally see the salary of that. Wouldn't be great? So I don't have to look for support. I don't have to do that. So can I do that? So can I get a total like that? Answer is absolutely. So I can show you. It's little interesting, but it's very useful. So like example, if your management is interested in, please understand, your management is interested in 2019, how much salary we pay, and 2020, how much salary we pay. Listen carefully. What is management interested? 2019, how much total salary we pay. 2020, how much total salary we pay. Very easy to do. Let me show you how I do that. So first thing, right click on employee, right? And you can say, right click on employee and say duplicate. Right click on employee and say duplicate. So now you have duplicate. So you have second data. Now double click on it and I'll say salary by year, salary by year. Write whatever you want, salary by year. Okay. I'm going to turn off this distribution because it will take my memory because it does. So I'm going to uncheck that. So let me repeat what I did here. I right click here and I duplicate it. I right click and I duplicate it. And I double click here and I did salary by year. Now I just want to make sure if I if I highlight this column, sorry, highlight, see from, I hold shift button and I highlight all column, right? Up to this, I highlight all column, okay? And I'm going to remove this thing. Let me repeat again. Let me remove, okay? So I highlighted all column. How did I highlight it? Very simple. You click on first column, hold shift, and you can, sorry, hold shift and click one by one all column, whichever you want to remove. So I want to remove all column, right? I want to remove all column. So I want to keep only this. Now I go to home and I say remove column. So I'll say remove columns. So this is remove. Okay, I'm going to do remove column. So when I remove column, I have only 2 columns. Give me thumbs up if you're able to do so. Good. Everyone is able to do? Awesome, awesome. Please understand. In my original table, I all have data, but in my new table, I have only 2 columns because I remove that, and you can see the code is as a remove. Now see the magic. Okay, ready? You may love this thing. This is something, the beautiful thing. This is not available in Tableau. This is only available in Power BI. You may love it. So check it out. Now, what is the requirement? I want to know 2019, how much I paid, and 2020, how much I pay. So first thing, I'm going to click here on a column and I'm going to sort it. So I'm going to say sort in ascending, sort in ascending. So ascending, sort in ascending. So first I see all 2019 and there will be then 2020. So I can click here and sort it. Ready? So 2019 here, I sort it, and 2020. I'm hoping everyone is able to do so far. Now, ready? So first I'm going to go to transform, click on, one second. Yeah, go to transform, go to transform, go to transform and say group by, transform and say group by. So I click on group by. Now I say group by year. So group by year. And what I want to do, so this is the new column name. So new column will I'll say total yearly salary. That's my column. Now here I'll say sum and I'll select here total. Let me repeat. First, I click on group by and I say group by year. So take this year, means group by, means instead of repeating, just say 2019 and 2020, group them because it's repeated, group them. And the new column which you're going to create, it will be this thing, sum all items, sum that for 2019. And that column name will be total year salary. And now you do okay and boom, you get the answer. Beautiful. Right away, right? So this is not a pivot table. This is like a table. So you can bring this thing in your Power BI desktop. Beautiful, because you can do that. Now, if you say, I don't want to see this way. I don't want to see this way. This is look like a row. I want to show like this way. 2019 supposed to be here and 2020 supposed to be here. And then I want their thing so I can read better. Very simple. First of all, are you guys with me? Give me thumbs up. Are you able to do group by? Good. Now let's say I want to say, you know what? I don't want to see this way. I want to convert the row to column. So they have a very nice concept, which is called transform. See here, you will understand. Right now, you have to see carefully this 2 picture. Carefully see this picture. So right now I have a rows, right? And from rows, I'm going to convert column. So check, see this thing. So picture, this is the row. From row, so this is the row. For row, I'm going to convert column. So it's called unpivot. So just click on unpivot. And now see what happened. Sorry, that did not work right. No, that's my mistake. It's maybe pivot. Let me do this one. Okay, this one. Select the, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Sorry, that let me just cancel one more time. I'll show you. Yeah, so here, this is your row and you are trying to convert columns. So these items are like this way. Now you want to show like this way. In 2019 is a column. Right now, 2019 is a value. The column name is actually year. We are saying, no, this is supposed to be a column and there should be a column called 2020. And these should be part of here, this column value. So I'm going to do pivot. So check it out. So pivot means what you are trying to do here. This is right now your 2019 here as a row form, you're converting as a column. So here, pivot column. And when you do pivot, which is to say, which one is the value column? So this is the value column. So it's automatically selected. Now you just say, okay, and it will convert as the 2019 as a column and 2020. These type of things are not possible in Tableau as such. They introduce concept called Tableau Prep Builder, does that, but again, you have to buy the software. Give me thumbs up if you are able to do so. Good, awesome. Now, yes, Ivy, question? Good. Now,
sorry, no problem.
Yeah. Now let's say
what's the difference between that and transpose?
Transforms, like
transpose.
Yeah, I understand. Transpose, what will happen? Entire table it will convert. And pivot will pick the column and use that column and convert. So this one, when you do that transpose, it will do everything. Everything. So this is kind of brute force. If you want everything, like all rows to be column, which most likely you may not want. So these are the two you more often use. But if you know that all rows should be converted, then you do transpose. So transpose does all at once. But pivot column, you pick a column and you transpose. Pick a column and transpose. Right? So let me show you another example so you will understand. So let's go to employee.
Okay. So right now it's the same thing just because we have 2 rows and 2 columns.
Yeah, I'm going to show you.
Okay.
When you see this example, you will understand. Right click on employee and duplicate. Again, duplicate. So duplicate. And this time I'll say department, year, salary. Department, year, salary. Department, year, salary. Now I'm gonna highlight, shift and highlight this column which I don't need. So I right click and delete. I right click and remove the columns. Those columns I need. I need department. I need a salary, right? I don't need any other column, but I need year also. So I'll keep the year. So I select that. I right click, remove columns, and I don't need total. Right click and remove. So I have 3 columns. So far, everyone with me? Okay. Now, first I'll show you transpose, which Thomas asked. So everyone understand what happened. So I'm gonna select here. So see what happened, Thomas. So I'm gonna do transpose. So if I do transpose, see, it does like this. Thomas, it does everything. It does everything at once. It does everything, but that's not what I want. So I cancel that. Now see cherry picking properly. So check this out. So first I want year, then I want department, right? So how do I do that? So first of all, first you can see here, I select year. So let me drag in and put it here so it is visible. First, I want to do year. So see here, select year. Now I'm going to say pivot column. So use name and currently selected. So you selected column to create new columns, right? So I click pivot column. So check it out. I click on that. See now it says use name in a column year to create a new column. So here your options, department and salary. So this is the values column. So values columns, I'm going to select salary. Okay. Now there's advanced options. So what you want, sum and all. So definitely we are going to do sum. So values means where you are going to have a numeric item, right? Now let's see how, okay. So here, now see the report, Thomas. Do you see the quite difference here? Because this year transform happened, department remain department, and you have nice table, beautiful. So now you have department, your year, and department wise, you can get report. And no coding. Transform does very ugly. So it's kind of brute force. And pivot column does strategically what you want to do. So I selected that. If you say, no, I want to have year here and department here. Can I do? Yeah. You select that column and convert. Questions?
So why would you do these kind of manipulations instead of just like using filters on a report?
No, filter is different, right? This is not a filter. This is a column. Please understand.
Well, I mean the other things that we did, 2019, 2020, we could have made a filter for that and just gotten total salaries for each year that way.
I think you're not getting that, Thomas. This is not a filter. This is a column. Please understand. Filter means
no. I'm talking about what we did earlier. So we did salary by salary by year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a total by year. Why would I do that here instead of just doing that in the report? I'm not talking about department year salary because we switched the columns, but
first of all, I'm not sure which one you are comparing. I'm not sure about it. Are you today?
Tom, I guess what we're trying to figure out is why go through the trouble to transform the data this way when we go to the desktop in visualizations, we could just put in a slicer and filter out the data.
No. Even you see, that's the problem. You need to understand. This is very important that you understand the concept. You are using concept very incorrectly, I would say. First, column and filter. Make sure we understand the language correctly. Filter applies like a row level. So you're applying this way. But you still need a column. So like example, you can say, I want Michigan. So what you are doing is you're applying on a row level, my friend. This is a column. So here I can filter based on these, not based on these. These are column. You can't filter column. You filter row. So please understand that. So if I want reverse way, there's no other way you can do in Power BI. You need to hide column. But if you hide column, you lose the value. So this was like this way. But if I do this way, I can apply filter. But I say, no, I don't want filter. I want is a column so I can compare that information. Think about, you have like a salary, you have bonus. These are column. And here, year was like this, like that. So I'm saying, no, I don't want that. I want to be a column. So this is like first name, last name, email, like that. So it's quite different. This is a need of reports. This was not a column. So you're creating a column on fly. Big thing. Example. You have, let's say example, you have math, just an example, math. You have science and you have English. So math, science, English, if you want to create total, so you can do the total like that, right? You can create total. So you are doing that total. This is the column. You apply filter here. But if I don't have a column, how am I going to apply filter? So if I remove 2019 here, how am I going to apply filter? Because this is a column, not a row. Yes, Ivy.
Well, I quite understand that this is the best way to deal with the data to, get the information we want. But I think Thomas is, what he means is that in the desktop, if we put slicer as well, combined with the work of filter, we can get exactly the same information here, right?
You see, when you say same is a very, depends on some use case you may. Let me repeat, some use case you may, but that's not the intention. Let's say, let me ask you one thing. Ivy, you are understanding. Can you join? Whatever Thomas is saying, can you join without column? Say yes or no.
No.
So now you understand. You can
Okay.
only do one
I see.
thing. You can't do everything. See, column has a big thing. If you don't understand difference between column versus filter, you are not understanding data analysis. Think about that. If I have table coming, one table is coming from Walmart, one table is coming from JCPenney. They're giving me years-based data, right? And your
Okay, I
data.
see. I know now.
If you
Thank you.
don't have year, you can't do the join. So now Thomas is stuck on just one small chart. But here we are missing $1 million because we can't do anything now. We need a column to do data merging, data thing, right? I can happy to show you some example, but please understand, you apply filter on a row level, but you can do join on a column level. This is column. This is no longer 2020. This is the column. It's not a year 2020. It's a column 2020. So example, if I have just an example, if I am working on a Microsoft, just an example, Microsoft gives me 3 countries. So country, let's say India or USA, India and Canada. Thomas, I want to bring collective data from all 3. How am I going to bring collective data from all 3? I need something common column. Yes or no? So I can say US, give me 2019 data. So that 2019 is a column. 2019 is a column. 2019, I can do that type of join and get you data based on those dating. So if I have a column, I can do that part. If I don't have a column, I can't. So this become a column now. So you can use whatever you want. So that's what it is. It's no longer rows. It is a column. So column through, you can do a lot of permutations. Of course, you can do filter and slicer. Don't take me wrong. You can do, but those are just small use cases. But column gives you tons of use cases. Again, based on your need. If you don't have need, you can use whatever you are saying, filter or slicer. Good. Now, let's do another exercise. Let's go back to, let's do, yeah, I want to do this one again. Let's duplicate one more time. Let's duplicate employee one more time. So right click and duplicate one more time. Right click and duplicate one more time. Duplicate one more time.